Welcome to Salento with love. Oh no, we'll have to let this baby go through. Oh wow, fantastic. I'm Davide Mengoli. Welcome to Salento with love and welcome to Palazzo Corigliano. Now, I wonder what's happening in there. So should we have a look? We're on episode 2. So much it's happening. But remember, little steps get you to your final destination. So let's see what's happening inside Palazzo Corigliano. Well, every time I cross this door, or every time I cross, I'm going to turn the camera around, a door of a building that we're working, I'm just so fascinated to see the changes. So, oh my God. Opening. These incredible openings now. Wow, the echo, but once the furniture is in, but this incredible opening, I'm going to offer one of the most beautiful open spaces full of a huge amount of fantastic Salento light. Imagine when this one is all in glass, bringing the light in. So it's time to see what's happening upstairs, up on the roof. Before I open this door, you may remember on episode 1 the condition of those blocks. What happens over a long period of time, there is this moss building over the top, but also these cracks that open up because the joints are actually closed using, in the past, sand and in some cases cement if they're more into the 50s and 60s. So these little lesions and these little cracks allow for water and infiltration. So always maintenance to the rooftop first and then you work your way down. So should we go outside? Let's have a look. The guys are here still working. Buongiorno! Wow, Mino is up here. Buongiorno, wow, ma che lavoro qua sopra, unbelievable. I can't recognize the space. Well, let's say I've been up here every day since the work has started, so I've seen the process. But isn't it incredible? All the slabs have been polished and cleaned one by one. It's the only way that you can do it. The top of the borders, they need to be scraped to remove that moss. And then all the joints are getting painted. In fact, just a few joints haven't been done yet. So let's go and have a look at them. So isn't it incredible really? But look, we've got some of the joints here that still, they left it for me so I could actually bring it onto the video. And you could see where this resin is getting painted in. This is not liquid sand and cement, but this is actually a special resin. So once this is applied, it will last at least 10 years before any infiltration. It's also quite flexible. And the idea of the resin really is to go straight into these little lines, and this is where the water filters through and comes into the building. You see, these are the joints. So really important way of sealing. And while this is happening, I can see what's happening just here. Look, this is also a way, isn't it clever? So this process as well of sealing all the walls around, it's very important because water hits the walls and it goes in. And this mixture made of Mino, quindi questa cos'è? Sabbia, cemento, resina
resina e colla.
e colla. So this mixture put together, it's well beyond just a simple sand and cement. It's actually a mix that is being created or invented. It's amazing when you work with these builders, and each one of them over the years and many years of experience have created their own formulas, or should we call them recipe. So just like a good chef creates their own recipe, sometimes working with builders with an incredible amount of experience allows you to get the maximum result as a result of the experience that they bring. So this is exactly what's been happening up here. Oh, this roof terrace now, it's spectacular, and the view, amazing. Progress at Palazzo Correios. Weekend, I can't stay away. I need to see what's been happening, and as I turn the camera around, it's extraordinary, the progress. This huge open space now, the echo, but I can just see it with this wonderful floor running all the way through, and as I turn around again, the opening to the garden is absolutely majestic. Oh, wow. So it's fantastic to see how all this plaster has been hacked off now, has exposed the stone, and has also exposed things that run through the walls, because you know you need to run it somewhere, water, electrics, so it needs to run through the wall. But this will all be stitched up to leave it exposed, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Also, some fantastic work has been going on in the garden, because one of the strength about this property, one of the most beautiful things about this property is also the garden. And as I step inside the garden, wow. So things have been happening here indeed, and they're continuing to happen. But one thing that I'm really happy is this back area in the garden, which had a wall in concrete blocks, and now is getting cladded using this fantastic pietra leccese stone, because the adjacent wall, which is a neighboring wall, has got this format. So we've actually had the stone cut exactly in the same format to match that. So once this is finished, it's like almost is hagging you. So at the end of the garden, you'll feel this hagging kind of feel. So with the blocks on the side offering nice privacy, and then you get here to the back and you have this wonderful area. And also the leccese stone, through the time, the months, the years, it would continue to change its color and become more, well, aged, I would say, making it even more beautiful. And to wrap it all up today, a fantastic meeting with the plumbers on site. Just when you do have an underfloor heating system, very important to understand exactly where you're going to fit a manifold, because the manifold needs to be in a certain area, very center to the entire property that needs to cover. It needs to be just a little bit above the actual system. And all of this is because you really want to make sure that there is no hair in the system. So that's what we've done today. And for the ground floor area, we've selected an area which is going to be under the stairs over here, just before you go upstairs, which could be a little bit more secluded. Where upstairs we've kind of sacrificed the wall, but then with some furniture that is going to go on that wall, and probably a really nice grill that can be built, or a casing that can be built, it could be hidden away. But we know, which is the most important thing, that is actually positioned and placed in a place that is going to work. Also, when it comes to the cooling, because the heating comes under the floor, well, it's important, you know, sometimes those units that are up at the top, they're a little bit unpleasant. They are extremely efficient, but sometimes design can take over. And in a space like this, potentially having temperatures that turn you into a penguin are not as important as having an aesthetic pleasing environment. So everything would be embedded into the walls with a little grill at the front, so producing the amount of cold air that you need. But what's important is to make sure that the heat is there to keep the environment very comfortable and extremely and beautifully dry when the winter or the autumn comes. So I think that's for me. We're at the end of episode 2 of Palazzo Correia's. What an extraordinary size this project is, and we're going to discover so many beautiful things, and I'm sure we're going to learn a lot of beautiful things, just like, for example, the kitchen that is going to go on these 2 walls. I'll say no more, but there's so much happening. So until we get on to episode 3, thank you very much for watching this. Thanks very much for following what we are doing here and bringing back to life to some of this forgotten beauty. Until the next one, press the subscribe button. I almost forgotten that. I always forget that. Press the subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. The little bell, so you'll find out about the next episode of Palazzo Correia's. And stay safe wherever you are.